Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm the Nvida GT, and for today what I have here is Elex. So Elex was developed by Bandwith and they are using their Genome engine. So in case you don't know Bandwith, it was the developers behind Gothic 3 series and Risen. So I'm using the minimum settings possible, but I have some things that I want to show you in here. For example, if I reduce or I disable the vegetation quality, what I get is 28 frames per second. And if I raise it from off to low, it appears that I have higher frame rate. So this is because when you use the low settings on the vegetation quality, what happens is when you use the vegetation, the draw distance of the vegetation is kind of small one, but you get some details, like for example branches and stuff on the floor, and if you put it to off, it seems that it's a bug that raises a lot the distance of the vegetation. So my personal recommendation is to keep the vegetation quality on low instead of off. So for this laptop, my personal recommendation is to play the game with the minimum settings possible, with the vegetation quality on low instead of off, and using 50% of scaling. So using this on the first minutes of the game gives you an average of 38 frames per second with a minimum of 32 without even dropping from the 30 FPS by any time, which is amazingly smooth despite it looks really bad because of the 50% resolution scaling. Although when you get to the city of Goliath, the performance starts to suffer a lot, so you start to get an average of 33 and a 1% low of 26, so the game drops from the 30 frames per second, but still it manages to still be smooth because I don't expect you to fight in the middle of Goliath, so it will be just getting quests or talking to people. So having those 30 frames per second is not really that important, okay? Outside of the city, it is important for you to have the 30 frames per second. So what can I tell about Elex? Elex, like I said, it's an RPG developed by Bandwith. I'm not sure if you are aware of Bandwith. Like I said, they developed the Gothic series, they developed the Risen series, and for most of the people, people usually don't enjoy the games from Bandwith because of the combat system, which is usually very clunky, animations seems very old, and graphics are sometimes not the best ones for the hardware, okay? And so nothing changed so far. Combat system still sucks, but there are a lot of improvements that they made to the combat system. For example, right now, for example, weapons like bows or crossbows, you can now point it to enemies like this, so it feels like a normal game. Because on the other games, like for example Gothic 3, the game just auto-targets the targets and you just shoot, so it was a little bit dumb in my opinion. Although, and unfortunately for me, what didn't improve it too much, it was the melee combat system and the evading thing. It feels a little bit weird. It feels that you need to either use the quick attack or the heavy attack, just like for example Dark Souls, but it feels clumsy, it feels weird, and you need to use it at the right time for the combo to work. So it feels a little bit weird in my opinion. I don't think it's a good experience overall. So in my opinion, Bandwith still fails a lot in combat system, especially the melee, but I think they really made a lot of improvements. It's still not perfect, but they really improved a lot in ranged attacks or bow and crossbow attacks, okay? So overall it is like this. Regarding the game itself, if you already played Gothic 3, Gothic 2, Gothic 1 or Risen and you enjoyed the game, I'm pretty sure you are going to love Elex. Although, if the last time you pick up a Gothic game or you pick up a Risen and you didn't enjoy that much the game, well, probably nothing is going to change for you. Probably the experience that you're going to get, it's not going to be satisfied for you. So keep that in mind and be aware before buying the game, okay? So with this, I'm going to let you enjoy a little bit of some sequences of the game, okay? Hope you enjoy the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Oh, and by the way, I think this is important. If you have, if your laptop have 4 GB of RAM, don't worry, it is enough to run this game. So thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Are you ready to go on? Let's go.
Looks like someone used this as a camp before now. Maybe I could use it. This place will come in handy.
Well, apart from the scouting party on the edge of the forest, it feels like something serious is brewing up there in Zakor. And that's bad news for us all.
You should come with me. See something more than goalie.